All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. Now, we just got done with our live stream. I got 112,000 playbacks. That is our new record, so thank you guys. Anybody who was there, I appreciate the support very much. Same week as I found out I had 5 million views on this channel. I am very, very grateful for all of the support. Now, we're going to talk about the Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul fight because lots to talk about there. First thing I think I should do, though, is I want to play a little clip for you because this basically sums it up. Now, this is an interview that Dana White did after the Damian Maia and Tyron Woodley fight 4 years ago. Let's watch it together. Ready? Boom.
It was Woodley's win tonight. Certainly didn't necessarily entertain the crowd quite as much. What did you think watching that fight?
About watching what fight?
The Woodley fight and beating Maia.
What did you think about watching the Woodley fight? Listen, when you break a record for the least punches ever thrown in a 5-round fight, in a title fight, and you beat it by, it was like 130, and these guys threw 60 or something like that. I mean, I think that sums it up.
Now, what do you think about that? Why would I play that right now after the Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul fight? Now, think about that for a second while I ask you for something. If you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you watch my stuff and haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it immensely. If you just subscribe, ring the bell, all of those things, or don't ring the bell, but subscribe, or just comment and like, whatever, share it, all the things that help me out. Really, sharing it helps me the most. I love you guys, thank you. But if for no other reason, share this video so everybody can see that 4 years ago, Dana White was like, hey, you want to know why Tyron Woodley is going to lose the fight to Jake Paul? Because he doesn't throw any punches. Like, he just never throws any punches. So, yeah. Now getting into this actual thing. So Tyron Woodley lost that fight. He did lose that fight. I don't care what the judges said. He lost. Jake Paul won. But he didn't win, or I'm sorry, he didn't lose because he was the less good fighter. He lost because he didn't throw any punches, okay? Like, straight up, there's just no two ways about this. And I'm just going to, I obviously have always entertained that this fight could be a work, and I am going to briefly entertain that in a second. But for this moment, we're just going to pretend like that's not even possible. It's impossible that it was a work, right? And we're just going to say this. When Tyron Woodley was throwing punches, he was beating Jake Paul. Jake Paul was tired. He was tired. Jake Paul's footwork is pretty good, but Jake Paul fighting defense when he is not able to just circle away, not very good. Wide open, I would even say, to where if Tyron could just cut the ring off and trap him and then throw big combinations and not come barreling into where for 100% sure, if you miss your first 2 punches, what's going to happen is you're going to barrel into Jake Paul and have to wrap up. So like just basic fundamental footwork, right? Throw a bomb, step back, whap, whap. So your intention is to make Jake Paul have to defend 5 to 6 to 7 consecutive punches, right? Because Tyron Woodley has titanic power and speed. So the idea that Jake Paul is just going to be able to just automatically counter him every time is unlikely, right? Especially given that Jake Paul had a few counters. Jake Paul fought pretty well. But the key to victory there was Jake Paul needed to be put under pressure, and Tyron Woodley threw no punches. He just threw no punches. He threw no punches. It was infuriating, especially when he had success in I think he won the 3rd round. I think Tyron won the 3rd round, especially because he caught him with a massive shot at the end of the 3rd round. And he definitely won the 4th. And then he comes out in the 5th, and he's like, all right, well, he's like, look like one of those guys from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in Nintendo. He's like, you're like, what are you doing, dude? Let your hands go. You are a better athlete. You're a faster puncher. You're a better puncher. You have more power. You have more experience. You're getting the better of him. Just throw a lot of punches. Just throw punches. Make him earn it. Just don't do the thing where you allow him to win by throwing a couple body jabs and then a couple jabs and then just circling out and just winning due to him throwing a few more punches than you. Just don't let that happen, you know? But again, I'm just going to ignore the fact that the entire incentive structure was all built around Jake Paul needs to win. Like if the idea that Tyron Woodley thought there was any chance he was going to win a decision in that fight is hilarious, dude. That was never going to happen. You were never going to get a decision. So, you know, if that was his thing, he's like, you know, instead of, I knew I wasn't going to get a decision, so I was just going to pick my shot and try to knock him out. Okay, that's fine. But that was bad strategy, and your coaches should have told you that the way you're going to knock him out is you put him under pressure, okay? Because he is not defending very well. Like, he has pretty good footwork, but he's not defending well when you put him under pressure. Like, not that you would know because you're never throwing the 2nd, 3rd, 4th shot. But if you were, you would see he is very hittable. So, anyway, congratulations, Jake Paul, though, right? Jake Paul did, I mean, for the amount of experience that he has, like, I've been having people just go, Jake Paul sucks. And look, if Jake Paul fights a good striker, he's not going to win. We can say that flat out now, okay? Like, you watch Jake Paul fight and Nate Robinson, he looks like a savage. You see him fight fucking Ben Askren, and he looks like the best boxer of all time. I mean, or whatever. It looks like a guy who knocked a dude out in the first round. Now we got to see him fight someone with at least a little bit of skill to where it's like, oh, okay. Like, you know, he's not bad or anything. He's not bad at all. But the idea that he's ready for like a real boxer or like real, like even higher level striker in the UFC he's not there yet. He's just not. He might get there, but he's not there now. He's not. Tyron Woodley was a matter of volume from winning that fight. It's as simple as that. So again, congratulations, Jake Paul. I'm not trying to shit on Jake Paul at all. I bet on Jake Paul. I did that primarily though because the incentive structure was skewed so heavily in favor of every person involved wanting Jake to win that I was like, what are the odds, dude, that Tyron just pulls some crazy rabbit out of a hat when every person involved in this thing on a business level wants him to lose? So I won a little bit of money, but it you know, I didn't really get any satisfaction out of it. But I'm in. I'll buy the next one. I bought this one. I'll buy the next one. I'm in. I'm entertained. But let me tell you where Tyron Woodley made the biggest mistake of his night, though, because he did make one really big mistake. At the end of that fight, he had no chance of getting a rematch. None. Absolutely none. You know? And when he got on the microphone, he was like, no, we got to run that back. I was like, bro, you have to be kidding. Like, that was, you literally just fought Jake Paul and threw no punches. Okay? Like, and Jake Paul won. Jake Paul got the victory. Jake Paul is the driving factor behind this thing. If you can't realize that you're not even the B side, dude. You're like the Z side, right? He's the A side. You are the replaceable, kind of have a name in MMA guy that like, and then, again, I really like Tyron Woodley. I might even venture to say I love Tyron Woodley, but like, I'm just talking reality. Like, we're on my channel, dude. I'm just speaking facts. And in this equation, if Tyron Woodley does another boxing match in 6 months and he does it against fill in the blank, anyone that doesn't have the last name Paul, he's selling 0 motherfucking pay-per-views. None. Fucking none. As a matter of fact, it might be a fun experiment just to see how few pay-per-views a person could sell. If you go Tyron Woodley and no needle pusher on the other side, 0 pay-per-views. Like 0. Unless, you know, you caught someone drunk and bought it as a joke. Okay, Jake Paul can replace Tyron Woodley with whoever the fuck he wants, and he'll sell almost 1 million pay-per-views most likely. So you have no power in this situation, none, right? So when you're demanding a rematch, it's laughable. It's absurd. You have no chance of getting that rematch right up until they were face-to-face, okay? Now, he got them to say like, oh, we'll bet. Okay, cool, off the top. I don't really understand what off the top means, but I'm usually pretty good with slang. I don't understand off the top, but off the top, you got to, you know, like you got them to like, oh yeah, let's bet or whatever, and we'll get a rematch. Okay, what's going to happen is they're going to get home. Jake Paul and them are going to run the numbers. That now it's a business decision, and they're going to go, we're not doing that rematch. What you could have done that would have ensured you got the rematch is you should have thrown Jake Paul. Once they were face to face, you should have grabbed one of the Paul brothers, grabbed them and thrown them and gotten into a big heated altercation. All you would have to do is reach out and grab him, dude. It was right in front of you. Literally, just like how you didn't pull the trigger when you were throwing punches or when you should have been throwing punches, that was right in front of you. Literally, push Jake Paul, push his brother, melee, boom, rematch 100%. That's all you would have had to do. And I'm telling you for sure that would have worked. For sure. Let somebody get hurt, dude. Like, push someone, not like Jake or one of them, but let someone on the teams, like, get after it. Let him throw a punch and then let someone get hurt. Now you got yourself a rematch. And this time you can demand some more money. But missed opportunity, because I am telling you right now, Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley 2 ain't happening. That shit ain't happening. And, I mean, the only way it would happen is if Jake Paul decided to do like, you know, it was like, this is the Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley charity match, because it would literally be just a charity match. If they're like really good friends off camera, and it's like, all right, we'll run it back, whatever. But there's no business sense in doing that whatsoever. It'll sell because it's Jake Paul, but not as well as any other fighter. So should have pushed him, should have thrown punches, and should have pushed Jake Paul. Now, Who do I think Jake Paul's actually going to fight next? I have no idea, because the UFC has everybody, locked up real tight. I would love to see him fight Michael Bisping. I would love to see them offer Michael Bisping a real number, but Michael Bisping will beat the fuck out of Jake Paul. So I don't think that's very likely. So Dylan Dennis, maybe? Dylan Dennis feels like the right one. Dylan Dennis, people know him because he's Conor McGregor's dude. He's close to Conor. They've had their history, whatever. He's, Dylan Dennis is something or other with Jake Paul, the chick who apparently is Jake Paul's girl because she kissed him in the ring. She's all, I better put my claim on him. You guys like that? That girl's probably never kissed Jake Paul in public ever before, but she's all, he's such a big deal right now. I need to fucking put a big fat kiss on him so everyone knows he's mine. Okay. You're like, what do you do for a living? She's like, I run Shag Mag. You're all, what's Shag Mag? She's like, well, it's basically OnlyFans. I have beautiful tits. You have no idea. If you saw me naked, you would understand exactly why Jake Paul has selected me as the girl that he has sex with consistently and lies to about having sex with other girls. That's why. It's because just take a little glance at me naked and you would understand. And I'm actually being serious. You would understand, because she looks incredible naked. Her name is Julia Rose. Since we always talk about OnlyFans and shit on here, let's go ahead and just give you a gander at her not nude so you can actually look at this. I mean, she is ridiculously hot, dude. I think, my personal opinion, is that she is very, very attractive. I'm trying to find one that I'm not going to get my video demonetized, though, and I am failing thus far. She is very, very not clothed generally. Jeez, man, there's just nothing I can show. I mean, I guess you can kind of see what she looks like. I mean, she is a smoke show. But that was embarrassing when she kissed him in the ring. I was like, oh, please. He's my man. My man just did that. Don't look at him, bitches. Don't look at my 24-year-old hunk of man. Don't do it. Anyway, but that's enough. Congratulations, Jake Paul. You and Logan Paul are literally living whatever, on the other side, when you choose what your simulation's going to be, you guys chose real well. I did too. I've been thinking about this lately, man. I chose real well. Hey, what do you want your simulation to be? Oh, I want to be married to my dream girl. I want to have 3 amazing children that are going to grow up to be beautiful like their mom. I want my oldest daughter to be a jiu-jitsu champion that beats the shit out of boys. I want to be good looking forever. I literally want to just never, ever stop being incredibly good looking. I also want to eat whatever I want and have a six-pack no matter what. I want to be successful in lots of different things, but I also want to fail over and over and over when I'm younger so that I actually appreciate it when I'm older. Because if you just win all the time and you've never felt what utter crushing defeat, utter failure feels like if you haven't ever looked in the mirror and been like, I am the sorriest fucking person on earth, and had to live with that for long periods of time, then when you win, you wouldn't appreciate it like I appreciate it. So I picked a good sim as well. They don't really know that losing thing though, I don't think. So maybe they don't appreciate it like I do, but I haven't won like them yet, but I will. 112 people on my live stream. That's a pretty good sign for the future, gentlemen. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's late at night, but that was fun. Anyway, that's what I got. Oh, one other thing. The reason why I like Jake Paul and Logan Paul is because they're brothers and they love each other and they're rooting for each other. I have a brother who is a little bit younger than me, and I can't help but get tied to that story. Anyway, that's what I got.